I let a lot of things go. My general motto is to choose happy, and things just typically aren't worth it. But if you call me a liar or you mansplain and talk over me, I will go pretty far to prove my point. I have some apartment buildings and I try really hard to be a good landlord. One of the things that drives me absolutely insane is garbage. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's become such a problem. I pay an exorbitant amount for trash and recycling service, and so often they just don't show up. Or God forbid, the trash is like this much over. I get extra fees, extra charges, all the things. This has been going on for years, but they kept missing pickups. I kept being told, oh, they did it. Who am I going to believe? You or my lying eyes? So I ended up installing multiple cameras on my dumpsters to check this. I don't want rats. I don't want trash overflowing. I don't want my tenants dealing with that. One of the locations, the city is particularly strict and will fine me so quickly if there's an overflow of trash. So this has happened so many times. Recently, they missed the pickups for the last 2 Fridays for my trash service. And sometimes if there's a holiday that week, they'll come the next day, whatever. That didn't happen. So particularly because it was holidays, people are home, there's gifts, etc. The trash was overflowing. It was terrible. So I submitted online complaints about it. They don't respond. So then I call and I speak to someone for a very long time who confirms, oh, there's no record of pickups for those. And I was like, can I have a refund for that service? And she's like, well, no, because we pick it up the following Monday, whatever. And I was like, but you can't charge me for a service that you don't perform. Also, that's not the same. I have to deal with the trash for those days. I have to pay someone to come get it, or I'm going to get fined, or I'm going to get complaints or whatever. You can't just say, oh, I have a contract to service this 2 times a week, but if I miss one and just do it the following service, it's fine. That's not how that works. So I speak to this woman for a while. She's fine. I'm polite, etc. We don't really get anywhere. She probably doesn't have the power to do anything. Fine. So I ask for a supervisor. No one's available. I'm told that the supervisor will look into it and call me back that day. Of course, nobody calls me. I wait 2 days. I call back. I get a guy who is so rude, so dismissive. He talks over me. He won't let me speak to a supervisor. I'm told that he spoke to a supervisor who said he was going to look into it and get back to me that day or the next day. I've heard that. I need to speak to someone. Well, anyway, we go round and round, but basically he tells me that there is not a single supervisor in this massive company. There's no one above this customer service employee who answers phones in the entire building, and that he doesn't know anything about how to check to see if service has been done, because I know that they have GPS trackers on these trucks. I know that they have cameras, etc. He says he doesn't know anything about that. So I wait for the manager's call. Nothing. So, and I had also asked him for his superior's contact information, won't give it to me. I asked for the general counsel's information, won't give it to me, nothing. So you know what? At this point, this guy's been a jerk to me, and I've had it. So it takes me all of 10 seconds to find out who the president of the company is, who the president of the parent company is, who their PR crisis team is. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but a lot of large companies have an executive response team. If a consumer or customer manages to get a complaint up directly to the C-suite, a lot of times those people are not happy to be receiving a complaint from a customer. For a lot of reasons. One, they probably do care how their business is run. They don't want these things happening. Also, particularly if there's any sort of inkling that there might be a legal claim here, they don't want it to be known later that they were aware of it this early on. I'm a lawyer, and a lot of times I would be part of the executive response if there were any sort of regulatory or legal concerns in the complaint. A lot of times, if you can't get anywhere with low-level employees, if you can get a C-suite person, you usually get a response. So I send a drafted email to the president and their PR response team. I detail my complaints, dates, who I spoke to, etc. Shortly thereafter, I get a call back from the district manager who calls me, and this is where things started to go really south for a while. So he tries to mansplain to me how their business works and talks over me and says basically, oh, you shouldn't have sent your contractor out there to deal with trash, anything like that. Like, that's ridiculous. You probably don't know, but when there's a holiday, we have a lot to do. So like, it may be serviced one day later. Sir, I've had a contract with your company for years and years and years. I'm well aware of that. If you had come and picked up the trash the next day, we wouldn't be having this conversation. He's like, well, no, we serviced it on Saturday. The 2 missed services were on Friday. He said serviced it on Saturday. Sir, that did not happen. He's like, yes, it does. Our records reflect that it was serviced on Saturday, both times. Okay. I'm telling you, that didn't happen. I have cameras set up specifically for this reason because of these issues with your company. There was no service. He's like, no, there was on this date around 2 something a.m. and this date around 3 something a.m. First of all, are you telling me that you sent out a garbage truck onto private residential property to pick up right next to where people are sleeping at 2 and 3 in the morning? Is that customary? He's like, well, it's not typical, but sometimes after holidays, we allow our guys to do that. It's fine, unless an ordinance prohibits it. Well, first of all, sir, I'm pretty sure that an ordinance does prohibit it there, but putting that aside, I'm telling you this didn't happen. Your customer service agent confirmed that there was no service, and now your records are reflecting that service occurred at 2 and 3 in the morning outside of the normal business hours, and this doesn't raise a red flag for you? Well, no, like it, our records reflect, so that's what happened. Okay, you have cameras on your truck, right? Yes. Did you pull the camera footage? No. Well, I'm surprised by that. This has been escalated to the president of the parent company, and you are unprepared for this call. Like, if I were you, I would have reviewed that footage before calling me back. Did you look at the GPS tracking? No, he didn't look at the GPS tracking before calling me either. Okay. Like, don't worry, calm down. I'm going to credit you for those 2 services. I'm like, this is so much further than that at this point. Like, would have resolved it my first call. You have an employee falsifying business records that you're relying on to charge people. And he's like, oh, no, that's not how that happens. Well, have you seen the footage? Because I have. Who am I going to believe? You, who have no personal knowledge of this, or me looking at my camera footage, which I'm happy to share with you, showing that it's not picked up on Friday. It continues to grow all Saturday, Sunday. It is not picked up until Monday afternoon. He's like, well, it's fine. We're going to credit you. I would pull that footage. I was like, how long does that take? Oh, about an hour for my request. Great. Call me back. I get a call back from him about 20 minutes later. Completely different tune. He looked at the GPS tracking and confirmed that, yep, his employee marked the service done wasn't even near my property. Repeatedly. So he apologized, gave me a very large credit. Several people are going to be talked to about it, supposedly. And I'm going to be getting a discount on my service going forward. He's like, you really shouldn't have to waste your time over trash. No, I shouldn't. I also shouldn't have to install multiple cameras to prove that your employees are falsifying business records. But guess what? That's what I had to do.